Hi, today we're going to go over how to make a print-ready PDF out of your InDesign file. A print-ready PDF has three things. It has bleeds, it has crop marks, and it has all of the text turned to outlines. The reason for this is to ensure that the font that you've designed, you've picked out, you've laid out, stays exactly how you want it. There are chances when PDFs go to printers that the fonts may change because they don't have the special font that you've downloaded. So in order to prevent any mishaps at the printer, we're going to turn all of the fonts to outlines, which will turn them into images, making sure they won't change. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to our selection tool. We're going to click and drag over all of the text. Now this is going to select all of your text boxes. You can see the selection boxes. Okay. Now we're going to go to Type and Create Outlines. Now once you click this button, it's going to turn the font from a typable, changeable font to a vector image that is no longer able to be changed. So make sure you do a spell check. Make sure everything has been taken care of. Because as I'm about to press Create Outlines, I see a misspelling. Okay? If I was to create outlines, and then I notice that misspelling, I wouldn't be able to change it. I'd have to delete it as if I was doing an image and then move all of these other images. Okay, I'm going to Control Z to go back to where I was, so then I can select my type tool and fix that. Okay, so that's why you want to make sure that everything is correct before you create outlines. So here again, I'm going to click and drag. I've selected everything. I'm going to go to Type and Create Outlines. There. Now you've seen the change. Let's zoom in so you can notice that this is no longer text. It is now a vector image. You have anchor points, okay? So I can't take my text tool, my type tool, and change anything now. All right, it's not text anymore. We're going to zoom back out and continue. Now we're going to go up to File and Export. You don't save as a PDF, you export to a PDF. Okay, so here I am in my packaged folder, and I'm going to rename this, okay? Because I already have a PDF in here that says Final. But this PDF is not print ready. It may have crops and it may have bleeds, but the font in this PDF is not turned to outlines. So I'm going to rename this one Print so that I know that this one is the one that goes to the printer. Now I'm going to hit Save. Now this options menu is going to open, and there are a couple of things that you need to make sure are checked. Under the General tab, we're going to make sure that 1, we're high quality print. 2, that you're doing all of the pages, that you are doing pages and not spreads. And this one, View PDF after exporting. We want that checked. And what that is going to do is as soon as you export, it will open up in your Adobe Acrobat Pro, and you'll be able to view your PDF immediately without having to go look for it. And what that's going to force you to do is to double check that you've done everything correctly. You'll be able to see that your PDF is print ready, okay? Before you hit export, you also want to go to marks and bleeds, okay? So There are two things on this page that we want to make sure are checked. Crop marks, okay? We want the crop marks. We need marks to tell us where to trim them. And you want use document bleed settings, okay? When this is not checked, you're not getting any bleed at all, okay? When we check this, it populates the top, the bottom, the left, and the right with the standard bleed that we set up in our document when we started. Okay, so I'm going to click it and watch it populate the 0.125. If it had populated zeros, that would indicate that you did not set your file up correctly. If this was a 0, it means you did not set up a bleed when you started your document in InDesign. Okay, so that is one way to make sure that you're doing everything right. One thing to be wary of, you're going to want to hit bleed marks. You're going to want to check that off because in your mind, you'll be thinking crop marks and bleeds, okay? Bleed marks is not the same as your bleed here. Bleed marks are just a little black line that shows where your bleed ends. It is at no benefit to the printer, and actually it will hinder your printing because it'll make your document size bigger and it may not fit on the paper size that you need to print on now. Okay, so we do not want bleed marks. So we just need crop marks and use document bleed settings. And now you're able to export. You wait a moment, it pops up in your Adobe Acrobat Pro, okay? Now, if I was to zoom in here, I'm going to look in the corner to make sure that I did everything correctly. And what you're looking for is this. These black lines here, those are your crop lines. So you have crop lines, you have trim marks. You want to make sure that these are entering this color, okay? The color that it's entering is the bleed, okay? The area on this side of this line and the area on this side of this line, that is your 0.125 extra to ensure that when I cut along this line, I have a clean cut with no slivers of white, okay? So from this PDF, I see that I did everything correctly, okay? And I can close this. My print ready PDF is ready to go. So I close this. My InDesign file is still open. Do not save this file, okay? If this is the file where I have gotten rid of my fonts and now have images, if I was to say, just hit save, it would override my original file and I would lose the ability to use this font again in this file, okay? It would not tell me what font it was so that I could use it for other pieces, or I could not change this file for future use, okay? So I'm going to close this file and it's going to ask me if I want to save it, and I'm going to say don't save. All right. So now in my packaged folder, I have a print ready file. My print ready PDF is ready to go to the printer. Okay? You have any questions on turning your InDesign file into a print ready PDF, you can email me. Thanks. Bye.